Beautiful, beautiful ginger. Hello everyone and welcome to the Blouz channel. Now in today's video I'll be doing a little experiment. You see, I was inspired by a New Growth Naturals video that she did the other day on some ginger oil, and I thought to myself, well, I have some ginger sitting down in my storage not doing anything. I also have some olive oil, and I do own a grater and an oven, so I'm gonna see how this little experiment goes throughout the day. But if you're new here, I welcome you, and if you're old, I welcome you same way, because guess what, without you my YouTube door would be closed. And before I get to showing you all of the things that I'm going to be doing, can you guess what this is? And Jamaicans, please don't answer. You already know what this is, and you know that it's supposed to be a little bit bigger than what you're seeing. But foreign people, strangers to Jamaica, comment below and tell me what you think this is. If you have Jamaican parents, grandparents or great-grandparents, you are still Jamaican, so do not answer that. Let the stranger them answer this. Alright? In case you don't know what a banana tree is, that's a banana tree. And over there, where you see the little sticks, that's yam. I'm not talking about the yams that look like sweet potatoes. No, not those yams. Actual yam. Yellow yam is planted over there in the background. I'm in the storeroom. I've encountered my first bag, and I'm looking here and I'm not seeing any ginger, but I discovered some sawdust right here. Basically these are wood chips. Just like how you have kitty litter, you have sawdust for chickens. We find another bag. I miss what in there. That's the ginger. By the way, this is freshly dug ginger seed, so there is still soil on it.
Today is ginger digging day. You notice you won't be able to see anything of the stalk or anything like that, because the place had to be burnt first, and then the men are plowing up to find.
Boy, I didn't really tie up this bag again, man. You can't tie a bag so. I'm washing my ginger. This is the preliminary wash, because guess what, I'm gonna have to go through the nooks and crannies of this ginger, like right there, every curve. I'm gonna have to go through those. Liquid bleach. Beautiful, beautiful ginger. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is my grater in my stainless steel pan. Let me go hold that one here for me. Hey, I'm gratering away. This is a real arm workout. This is the ginger. I mean, you're gonna see some white hue there because that's the juice from the ginger. This is a grated ginger. This is a shredded ginger. So as you can see, it kind of looks like seasoned rice. I don't know, that's what it reminds me of. But I'm gonna get this thing on a tray. The oven is already preheated to 180 degrees Celsius. This is the pizza with the toppings on it. This is what is robbing us of our oven time. I have to be doing this in the turkey oven, but guess what? We all have to sacrifice some things, right? So we have half vegetable over here, and we have, this is what, chicken and pineapple. Hey y'all, it's been 4 hours since this thing has been dehydrating. I actually bumped up the temperature from 95 degrees Celsius to, I think it's 150. As you can see, it is about 90% dry, and you can see it flaking there. It has a few more hours to go. I took up one of these crispy pieces. Let me tell you something. It is concentrated as expected. It is not denatured as I thought it would, because you know things boil above 100 degrees Celsius and things can denature, and you can see all the white stuff that's on the container. That's the dehydrated juice. Which is the next day. Last night I let it dehydrate for 2 hours more. So I dehydrated this at 150 degrees Celsius for 6 hours. So I have already started the grinding process. Right here you can see I have some milled ginger. I processed it in here, and here are the dry bits from last night. By the way, you don't have to go through all of this long process. If you can get ground ginger at the store, or if you have tea bags at your house, just go ahead and use that. So I've set my dry ginger in my coffee grinder. Alright, so I'm going to show you what it looks like. It still has some big chunks in there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to grind it until it looks as fine as this. I'm going to try and experiment with the blender. I know a lot of people don't have access to a Nutri Bullet, but most people have a blender in their house. So I'm going to select the grind option. See there? Grind option on the blender and see if it does anything. It was successful. I threw it in with the rest of the mixture. This is what I'm working with. This is the amount that I got out of the bowl that I showed you before. It's weighing time. After me can read scale. Out of those 7 roots or so that I did, I got 3 ounces. So I got 3 ounces of ginger. As for grams, I don't know nothing about the metric system, so you're going to have to work that out. Use Google. Make Google be your best friend. It was right in front of my eyes. It's about 100 grams. I mean, I should have weighed the amount of ginger that I did before, but that never came to mind. I now have my double boiler pot on the stove. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically 2 pots in one. So I have a bottom pot here with water that is gonna send the heat up to the top pot here. My top pot is empty and ready and waiting for the oil and the ginger, but I'm gonna wait until the bottom pot with the water boils up. This is what it looks like from the side. So it's basically 2 pots in one. Also, if you don't have a double boiler like I do, you can just have one big pot and a smaller one in it, as long as the water from the bigger pot is not going to end up in the ingredients at the top, and you should be fine. For the olive oil, I'll be using Members Mark extra virgin olive oil. It doesn't necessarily have to be this brand. We have our homemade ground ginger right here. The proportions are 1/3 cup of this ground ginger right here. So we still have a lot more out of the 3 ounces or 100 grams. And then we have 1 cup of extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to pour in the oil first, let it get a little warm, and then I pour in my ginger. My pot is empty and free of any sort of water. And I'm going to throw in my 1 cup of olive oil, put that ginger, just like so. And I'm going to check on it in like half an hour. I would say 10 minutes, but I don't think there's going to be a real difference in 10 minutes because it's a double boiler and not direct heat. This has been 30 minutes later. All the water has been boiled out. You can see that one little itty bitty drop. There has been a color change. As you can see, the oil has taken the color of the ginger somewhat, but it has maintained the olive oil color to an extent. This isn't really a solution. With a solution, all the ingredients blend well together and there are no sediments. This to me looks like a suspension. Ginger is just there sitting inside of the olive oil, and I don't want that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it on direct heat and turn it down low for about 5 minutes, and then I leave it to cool. This is the ginger on direct heat. I thought I would have left it to simmer for 5 minutes or so, but because this is a heat process rather than a cold press one, I just let it bubble for a minute, no more than that, because I don't want the ginger to overboil. Any more infusing that is gonna happen will just gonna happen with time. So I'm gonna leave it to cool there for maybe a few hours. We are 3 days later after I put my oil in a double boiler. I just left it there for it to cure, for lack of a better term. As you can see, all the powdered sediments have settled to the bottom, and now it's time for me to strain it. So I've got my strainer here. This is a fine net sieve. Wow. So I just poured that in there. Those are the sediments that are left. This is what is left at the bottom. I could have used filter paper or anything like that to get it a little cleaner than this, but I'm fine with these little sediments at the bottom. I am going to pour this in my clean mason jar. So I have a tea mixture from the dehydrated ginger. I have a possible facial scrub, and if you're that adventurous, you can probably bake with this. I have my empty mason jar. Coincidentally, it has the word mason on it. I'm going to use a glass bottle because, you know, bacteria. Things just last better in a glass bottle than it does in a plastic bottle. We have a little over 4 ounces. I wanted to show you a comparison between the extra virgin olive oil that I used and the final ginger oil products. You can see that nutrients actually leapt out of the ginger and went into the olive oil, because you can see right here a little yellowy greenish, and over here we have a brown color. This process was not in vain after all. I enjoyed doing it. It's something that I would do again. You don't have to go the long route, but I mean, it was worth it. The reason why I chose to dehydrate the ginger is just simply for preservation purposes. I could have gone ahead and put in the green ginger in the bottle and let it sit in a sunny spot for 2 weeks, but I didn't have time for that. I mean, my light bill went up just dehydrating this for 6 hours, but I think it was worth it because right now I have lovely ginger oil on my hands. Ginger is an anti-inflammatory plant, so pretty much any type of inflammation around the body, ginger tends to bring that down. For example, you have arthritis, which is joint pain. It helps to bring down the inflammation with that. Menstrual cramps, things like that. It has antimicrobial properties and antiviral properties. So a lot of Jamaicans use ginger when they have flu, and in a time like this where going around, a lot of Jamaicans, they use ginger, garlic, things like that because of its antibacterial and antiviral properties. It has been rumored for centuries that ginger helps with hair loss. I mean, I've searched on the internet and there has been a study that it doesn't really help the hair to grow. It inhibits the shaft from growing, but I'm like, if a group of people have been saying this for centuries, that it helps with hair loss and there are testimonies about it, why not try it? You know what I mean? Also, if you suffer from nausea, have a good cup of ginger tea in the morning and that will help you tremendously. Trust me on that one. And those are a few of the benefits of ginger. There are so many, but I'm going to use it for my hair. As I go along, I'll tell you my reviews. It's bye from the Blouz channel. See you again next time. Bye. By the way, the ginger smells so good. I forgot to mention that the ginger is so aromatic. It has a pleasant scent. If you've ever made your own ginger oil, share your experience below. Tell us, what did you do? Or if you have a YouTube channel and you have a tutorial and you think my experiment is better than yours, share it.